Thanks to the witnesses for your participation and comments. I've got a statement I'm going to make and then a question for Madam Chair and Ranking Member. Senator Tester and I did a bill protecting America's agricultural land from Foreign Harm Act, also sponsored by Senator Tuberville and Rubio. It would prohibit persons owned by, controlled by, or subject to the jurisdiction of China, Iran, North Korea, and Russia from owning or leasing American agricultural land. It would also stop these individuals from participating in any of the USDA programs. I vetted this bill carefully with the USDA, the intelligence community, and a handful of committees here in Congress. I'd like to submit letters of support for this legislation into the record from the Agribusiness Council of Indiana, America First Policy Institute, and Heritage Action.
So ordered without objection.
Thank you. Several bills are addressing this issue. Got Kip Tom, a farmer from Indiana and a former ambassador to the United Nations for Food and Agriculture, and he capsulizes in a letter which I'd like to submit into the record as well.
So ordered without objection.
He points out that China has invested heavily in Belt and Road initiatives throughout Africa, somewhat in South America. We've seen them steal intellectual property, manipulate currencies, just do about anything out there that would not be in the category of a handshake business partner. We've watched them leverage corrupt influence over the WHO, perpetuating a years-long lie about how the COVID-19 pandemic started. Now China is running the same playbook on agriculture, using direct investments and regulatory capture at trusted international organizations to build power. Something has to give, and I'm concerned about what time we have left here this year, and if these bills do not make it into the Farm Bill or in a way through this committee, would Madam Chair and Ranking Member be okay with trying to maybe get them into the NDAA?
Well, thank you very much, Senator Braun. Senator Bozeman and I were just talking about there is such interest. There are a multitude of bills, all of which in some way come together. We also know this is very complicated, as we were just hearing about private ownership and how do we make sure this is focused and targeted in the right way on national security. I think we need to work together on all of this. Certainly NDAA is the vehicle that is moving and probably, will have the opportunity to be signed into law first. We don't know, but we certainly want to work with you, with other members of the committee and those off the committee to put together what makes sense. Some of this is jurisdiction of the Banking Committee with CFIUS, which I think is a very important piece of this.
And we've already worked with them to clear it, to make sure it dovetailed with them.
Absolutely. So I think we've got to work together. I pledge to work with you and with Senator Bozeman and other members that are interested to see how we can move forward in the way that protects our national security interests, but addresses the other concerns that have been raised today as well.
Senator Bozeman, you okay with that?
No, I agree totally. And again, as the chairwoman said, we were kind of going back and forth about a path forward. There's not many things in Congress where there's a lot of consensus, and I think that there is real consensus both in the House and the Senate, Democrats and Republicans, that we simply need to get this worked out, so that we protect the farmland, protect our entities, our industry, but also as Senator Fisher was talking about, not making this thing too onerous.
In that rare moment here in the U.S. Senate, we certainly ought to take advantage of it. Thank you.